It is a delight to meet friends from afar. This is a line from the Analects of Confucius, a 2,500-year-old classic that documents words and deeds of Chinese philosopher Confucius and his disciples. It is believed that people familiar with Chinese culture all know certain sayings in the Analects. Today I'm in Chufu, in East China's Shandong province, the birthplace of Confucius and Confucian culture. All visitors here would love to seek traces of Confucius philosophy, and I'm fortunate enough to meet Professor Kong Xinfeng, the 76th generation descendant of Confucius, who is the dean at the School of Marxism in Minzu University of China. Professor Kong, I was wondering, as the 76th generation and descendant of Confucius, what is your take on Confucius and his role in passing on the Chinese civilization?
For me, Confucius was not only a forerunner in Chinese civilization, but also an ancestor in blood kinship. I think Confucius was the greatest teacher for we Chinese people. We called him 万世师表. And you know, Chinese people today, our thinking, our behavioring were deeply influenced by the teachings of Confucius. For example, governing by virtue and ceaselessly pursuing self-improvement, people in Chinese way of life.
Professor Kong, I was wondering that Chinese civilization existed for 5,000 years.
Yes.
Almost unparalleled with any other civilization in the history of the world. I was wondering, what's your take on the continuity of Chinese civilization?
Can you use chopsticks?
I try my best.
You try my best. Oh, okay. Yeah. When we use chopsticks, we have many etiquette rules concerning do's and don'ts from the old times transcending to contemporary life. I think you should not use your chopstick before the elders, the senior members around the table. You should not using your chopstick to tap on displays. In Chinese language, we call custom or social customs 风俗. 风俗. And 风俗, I think this is very typical Chinese thinking. It goes like, just like, you know, cultivating or cultivation, education, and, you know, morality forging. And, you know, the state must take it as a very important factor in governing. Because customs and politics have very strong links between each other. If the customs are not good enough, I think even good institutions, good laws could not be enforced. I think the continuity of Chinese civilization may be understood both in spatial and in temporal elements or dimensions. Every dynasty has a consciousness to write history. There are so many of them, and I think all these factors give us very great confidence to insist that Chinese civilization survive and the test of times. This is the renowned 13 steel pavilions in the Temple of Confucius in Qufu. It features 2 pavilions from the Jin dynasty, 2 from the Yuan dynasty, and 9 from the Qing dynasty. Most of the inscriptions we see here are texts to honor and commemorate Confucius by his followers and officials at different times. Some are records of temple renovations. The texts are inscribed in traditional Chinese characters, and Fastba scripts, which was Mongolian writings in the Yuan dynasty, and Manchu scripts. The scripts are carved in different languages, shows the fact that Confucius has been revered by the whole Chinese nation from the earliest period of time, and respect for Confucianism has always been the same. This way, please. Since then, rulers in China, despite their ethnic origins or background, would be committed to the establishment of a unified Chinese nation and a legitimate Chinese culture.
Yes, of course. And as I understand their commitment to such elements, for example, as Chinese characters, probably is the main reason for the Chinese civilization to continue in the continuity of Chinese civilization.
Yes, I really appreciate it. Over the long run of history, the unity of Chinese history has been elevated and strengthened to new heights. The inscribed artifacts in the Temple of Confucius in Qufu bear witness to and carry forward the philosophy of the great unity, or 大一统, the essential of a political ideology to maintain a united nation with many ethnic groups in ancient China. Mr. Mahia, I have heard that you have spent almost 8 years in China. What is your impression to contemporary China?
One of the most interesting things for me in China is that people refer to each other and other people from other countries as 朋友 or 外国朋友. And it means to me as the symbol of closeness, togetherness, and having a very good relationship with others. And also, I think it's a sign of respect that comes from the Chinese traditional culture, and we can live hand in hand together and develop together and make a better human society and have a better world. This is my perception during my stay in China. When you come to China, you can feel that people have great pride for their traditional culture.
Tradition is somewhat like water, and we people are like fish. Now, fish live in water, but fish cannot feel the water.
It's a very nice experience. Professor Kong, what do you believe is the significance of the continuity of Chinese civilization for modern-day China?
I think the history of China is a history where many different minority groups are converging into one pluralistic and unified nation. I believe that traditional culture played a very important role in our daily life, in the process of modernization for Chinese people and for our contemporary Chinese state. And China has developed socialism with Chinese characteristics and forged a new path towards modernization. China comes up with a new model of modernization instead of copying from other countries. Chinese modernization, or modernization of China, I think, is a continuation of Chinese history and bringing new life to Chinese civilization.
It is the modernization of common prosperity for all, inspired by the Asian political idea. What one worries about is not poverty, but uneven distribution. It is the modernization of harmony between human and nature, inspired by the Asian wisdom, unity of heaven and humanity. It is the modernization of peaceful development. inspired by the Asian world outlook. All nations live in peace and harmony.
Different perspectives and horizons lead to different perceptions of the world. It is impossible to understand China's past and present, let alone its future, if we ignore its long-standing history and continuity. Contemporary China is a continuation and development of its past. Understanding the continuity of Chinese civilization is the very first step to understanding a real China.